Hello guys, NautoAisDx here, and I want to give my thoughts on why, for me personally, did not get a PlayStation 5 or a Series X/S, which for me, I prefer to get the Series S because I'm not really an Xbox guy, I'm more of a Sony guy, but that's a different story. I know with the censorship, but again, different story there. But like I said, why for me personally do not ever get a new console at launch? Well, first of all, it's easy, they're faulty. Whether you like it or not, yes, in 2020, it's a surprise. Consoles always going to be faulty because they're the first batch. They're going to test the water to see how it runs, let's see how it happens and what happened to consumer's hand. And there's always been a lot of history of faulty system, especially with Sony, Microsoft, and believe it or not, also to some extent, Nintendo also themselves. Even so they have better quality when they're console, they do have faults. They do have some problem that, well, it makes consumer upset to some extent. That's why, for me, most of my console that I bought was never ever launch. Never. I never got it in launch, except for two console, and I'll explain it later. So first, I'm gonna tell you when I did get my console throughout the history to all the way to the Switch. So when it came for the NES, I got it at 1990. I think the NES came with 1985. I'm too young for that one. When the Super Nintendo came out, I waited for a year to get it, and I did. N64, let's just say I got it on a bargain bin when the GameCube was already out, because the reason is, by then I was a Sony guy thanks to Final Fantasy VII. So let's transition to that one a bit with Sony, with the PlayStation. Believe it or not, I got it 2 years after when it first released. And sadly, the PlayStation I got was crap. Had to buy a PlayStation 1, the white one. Yeah, Sony products are crap, and I'll explain that later. And then the PlayStation 2 was 7 months from its release, and of course that one also sadly died, and I had to buy a second one there. And then going back to the GameCube, is that I bought the GameCube, I think, a year later when it first released, because I was waiting for a price drop to $150, and they did it, so I got that one. So a year later. And then when it comes to this one, when sadly I'm so ashamed, I bought it at launch, and those are the PlayStation 3. I bought it 2 months after its release, and the Wii. I got that one, I think, 3 months from its release. And you know what happened with the Wii, because Nintendo's doing a fall scarcity, so I went to a Target to buy some component cable, saw the Wii there, I just, I'll get it. And then the PS3, I said, oh, why not? Because nobody really want to buy it because it's a freaking $600 grill. Yeah. And sadly to say, and I'll explain why it's so bad. So again, moving forward, PS4, I think I got it within 7 months. Xbox One, a little tricky, is I got it for Christmas a year after when it first came out. However, it was from a friend, had a buyer's remorse, kind of felt sorry. So I have like the VCR one. It still works like right now. I don't give a shit because it's Xbox. Because some of the games can be played on PC and Steam. And I got Steam. I got PS4. So there you go. And then lastly is the Switch, which is surprisingly if you see the pattern there, mostly when I bought the console, I was between 5 to 7 months from its release. And why is that for me? Like I said, first, faulty. It's always going to be faulty, and you always have this in the back of your head like, oh my gosh, I don't want to break, I paid this with my money, blood and sweat money, and then that's the reason. Second, you never know, there's an anomaly, there might be a new SKU that's coming, especially within 5 months, 6 months, who knows, maybe even a year, there's a better SKU coming in, or a price drop, that's why, better SKU. And then of course, games. Even so, launch, they're no good. They may be good games, but again, I mean, not a lot. That's why you got your old generation backlog for me. I got a game that backlog. Heck, I'm still playing games from my Wii U, my Xbox 360. That's why I always want backwards compatibility. Of course, I already talked about that. And yeah, there's going to be a teaser about a new backwards compatibility that I feel like it should be as an industry standard. Different story there. So that's basically the major reason why I don't ever get a console at launch. Faulty, better SKU, the games finally come out, then fine, there you go. And of course, price. There will be price anomaly and changes. So what I mean by that? Well, of course, from what I heard for the NES, there's been a lot of start with the old one. I don't know, I was too young for this. The first batch launched NES console, the controller deck, yeah, there was some faulty there. I think that some of the cartridges can't be read because it was weird how they do it. When it comes to the Super Nintendo, I heard there's not really much a problem with the Nintendo. Better quality. N64, same deal, better quality, so there wasn't nothing problem. Even the GameCube, surprisingly, you didn't have a problem with it. So I mean, when it comes to quality with console, Nintendo actually were good. The NES, like I said, there was some sort of problem with the cartridge. That's why they had like the new version, the NES 2, the top loader, and apparently that was better. Super Nintendo, same go, they had a new version, a better version, runs better. Again, that's what happens when you're an early adopter, you get screwed. So either way, oh, I don't get it early, so I'm not part of the hype. Yeah, but at least if you waited, you get a better version. Early adopter, you get screwed, price, whatever. N64, I didn't think nothing new. GameCube, from what I heard, nothing really a problem. Like I said, the problem was that system price dropped way too fast. It was like within 6 months, it was already a price drop. Another year had a price drop. And then within a year and a half, it became $99. So you kind of see the pattern there. And the anomaly was the Wii. It was hard to get because Iwata purposely created a false scarcity. Yes, that's been proven. It sucks, but yeah, to hype out the Wii to compete against the PS3 and the 360 because they were HD. However, the first batch of Wii had problems. One is they were not optimized to a point that they even said, well, you need to install the update disc. Problem is, it doesn't come with it. What do? You gotta call Nintendo and they have to send you the disc. That's a problem. Oh man. To some extent, from what I heard, also the alternative is an update, but you have to wait for a while. Again, it's like, what the monkey fool is that? So already you got a problem when you have a launch Wii. Luckily, by the time I got my Wii, which, like I said, within 2 months, that's still considered launch. Post-launch is like 6 months or so, 5 months, maybe. Potato. But yeah, I mean, by the time I got my Wii, it was already like, oh, everything's set up, time to play Nintendo games. So, surprisingly, Wii U even had a problem in the beginning. It was not optimized. Like, the downside was they even said is that if you get a launch Wii U, there's going to be a big-ass day one update that includes Wii mode. How stupid that is. And then apparently that takes like 2 or 3 hours just to update it. Like, what? Again, I got a Wii U Deluxe when they had a price drop and a new SKU. I did show the video before. If I remember, description, links on the description box. You know the drill. Yeah, and I know a lot of people got pissed about that for the early adopters. And then, yeah, there was a problem there. Switch, Joy-Con not really working well with the Switch itself for a while via update. But again, people, they like that. With Sony, of course, quality is just bad. The first model PlayStation could not read newer games, while vice versa, when you have a later model and the PS1, the white one, that it doesn't come with it, but you can buy it as an optional monitor. It doesn't play older games. What? Oh my God, whatever. PS2 had a disc reading error. For people who don't know, one of the lands in the older model is when you use the game too much, a lot of times the screw, it gets unaligned to a point that you can't read the disc. Yeah, I mean, had to sell it to a friend of mine who's an engineer, so gotta give credit to that. Able to fix it, and there you go. So, yeah, but again, PS2, Sony consoles are faulty and crap. And the big one for me, that this is why I never buy a console at launch, the PS3. Yellow light of death. Yes, within 3 months when I bought it, yellow light of death. Maybe it's my fault because I put it in an area where I had this lamp but didn't have a lampshade. I don't know why. And the PS3 apparently gets hot really fast, which is the downside. So you're trying to combine that, get super hot, yellow light of death. It broke. How to replace it, I've refurbished within freaking 3 months. It pisses me off. I'm so ashamed. And then that refurbished classic 60 gig within a year and a half died. And I had to replace it with a slim PS3 that doesn't play PS2 game, because you know the history there. But yeah, and that's the reason why you really be wary if you want to buy a PS3 at launch or any console. Yeah, I had the yellow light of death, so I'm like, oh shit. And that's just my own personal experience. PS4, like I said, there was a faulty there also is, well, one of them is the cockroach attraction, apparently gets attracted. For me personally, one of the problems that I had ended up buying a Pro in the long run, well, because upgrade. And of course, that's another problem also is mid-generation upgrade. If you're going to do that, oh man, people are going to get pissed about that. They weren't really happy with the Pro and Xbox X and S because, again, improved version of the original, but why upgrade like 3DS, new 3DS, you know, the deal there. But the problem with my personal PS4, my own one, my personal experience is overheating, I guess, fast, because either, my guess is the fan's not working, so it automatically just turns off, and that's it. So to a point that I really got irritated to say, okay, you know what, it's time for me, I have no choice, I gotta buy me a PlayStation 4 Pro. I did. I have 4K TV. It's worth it, in my opinion. So of course, you know, the newer system does. Xbox didn't really have a lot of extras, believe it or not, and that's also I didn't mention it. I never had an Xbox original. Okay, whatever, because I'm a PS2 guy. I did have an Xbox 360. I bought it in the system 2008. The system came out 2005. So it's the later one. So as of right now, I still have it, and no red ring of death. So of course that was the biggest one on the 360. Xbox One, I don't really see any controversy or problem with it. But from what I heard, the only controversy that people really had was it's a 500 SKU with the Kinect that people don't like. And I know Don Matrix said that he wanted to integrate the Kinect with the console. Like, he wanted to make it mandatory, but the people have spoken. They didn't want it. They were pissed about it. Like, they didn't want the Kinect with it. But like I said, if it was $399 with the Kinect, they probably would have an advantage. But again, they shot them from the foot. They said, well, we're going to lose a lot of money. But in my opinion, it probably was worth it. But again, you screwed up. Phil Spencer had to fix it. In the later version, they got rid of the Kinect, saying people want option. Because that was the rumors that Microsoft at the time wanted to integrate Kinect with the system. But for $500, that's kind of stupid. But if it was $400 with the Kinect, I bet you probably won against PlayStation. Just saying there. Just saying there, dude. Just saying there. So yeah, that's my experience about it. So that's the reason why I don't get it launched. Like I said, my PS3, it was just shit experience. Wii, not so much. So I mean, there was only two problems I had. One was when I was playing Super Paper Mario and the game froze on me, and it wasn't that a big deal. I thought it was, but I said nah. I'm probably was just a disk reading error. And the second one was at one point I went to the Wii Shop channel and then it got stuck. I didn't do it right and I unplugged it, which probably wasn't a good thing to do, but it didn't break. It didn't break, but of course now my Wii is on a box put away because I got a Wii U that plays Wii games. And yeah, there you go. So yeah, so that's the reason why I don't really get console at launch. So hopefully a lot of this experience I mentioned the problems. Like, yeah, no matter what, with any system that comes out at launch, there will be faulty. Nintendo had their problem, Sony had their problem, Microsoft had their problems. So again, just gotta be wary. If you're willing to spend money, just be prepared that your system might be faulty. My suggestion is talk to consumer service, and if they do say you get a free replacement, take that L and just get a replacement. Trust me, it sucks. If that's gonna happen, that is what's gonna happen. Again, that sucks. So, like for me, I'm probably gonna get first the PlayStation 5 because, like I said, I'm a Sony person. So I'm probably gonna get that probably 6 months, 7 months from now. Because I want to see what games can come out. Again, if they even have by April of 2021 have like more PS5, finally you can get it on store or you can get it online. Because please, oh boy, let the pandemic be over. But I doubt that. It sucks, but different story there. Yeah, I might get it because again, like right now, the only game for Sony to have is Sackboy, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Demon's Soul. Sackboy's cool. Spider-Man's also in the PS4, so yeah, I'll just get the PS4 version. Demon's Soul, it's like Bloodborne. I'm not a fan of the Dark Soul game. For me, they suck. I don't like them. Ratchet & Clank's not gonna be out. And Final Fantasy 16, it's not gonna be out. And again, I got backlog, so thank goodness for backwards compatibility. And yeah, apparently that's the report now that there's been faulty with the PS5. Trying to play a game, it breaks, it turns off. There's even a situation where your hard drive for the PS4, the user on the PS4 and the PS5 doesn't even read. It's like, okay, that's a problem. But again, you gotta give it time. You have to give them time to update and see what the fault is. It is what it is, and goes with the Xbox One or Series X and S. And for that one, for me, and like I said, I'm gonna get the Series S, but with a catch. First of all, thank goodness that you can put your Series XS games on a hard drive. However, you have to transfer them, so it's kind of like the Wii thing when you put the games on the SD card. But in order to play them, you have to have at least space on the flash drive on the Wii to read them. That's how it works. It's weird, but that's why I'm kind of familiar with it. Yeah, you're probably gonna be like wasting a bit of time, but again, if it's not too long, it's like what, 1 or 2 minutes, dude. 1 or 2 minutes not gonna kill you. If it's 5 to 10 minutes, then that's a different story. There, that shouldn't do it, but I don't think it is because the proprietary memory card expansion, yeah, that's just no. And also, hopefully, it's Phil Spencer, crossing finger that there will be a disk drive for the Series S only to play older games. That's it. Hopefully, but I doubt it. So, if I want to play those disc games, I'm probably gonna have to get a Series X, and that's $500. Like, hell no, dude, no. But we'll wait and see. Like I said, I don't really need an Xbox. I do prefer more a PS5 than an Xbox. Of course, I'm gonna get the one with the disk drive. Like I said, I'm a Sony. God, I hope they remove the censorship. There'll be a different story about that one, but stay tuned for now. So there you go. This is the reason why I don't get launch consoles, and because, well, like I said, they're not perfect. Just wait and see for me. So with that, I'll see you guys later.